Yes, hello everybody. This is Ray from Ray's United, and I'm back. Listen, I'm back. I'm recording this video late in the night, so you hear my voice mellowed. Listen, everything is cool. If I was recording it in the day when people were sleeping, sorry, people were awake, you'll hear me so animated because I've got the date or whatever you may call it of the Pi mainnet migration. So, I mean, the second migration. Remember that the second migration. So, this is what most of you have been waiting for. You are going to get it. However, without further ado, you know what to do. Smash that like button, people. Smash the subscriber button. Become a member. Let's help this channel grow. I've got lots of content I need to bring to you. I'm going to bring to you very soon. But hey, if I don't have the news, I can't really give you stuff. But this time I have some news. So, you're gonna enjoy this. And tell me if you want me to just do live shows like a therapy session or something, and I'll let you in on that. But hey, when I come back, it's on. Oops. Let's really sorry about that, people, but I know you like my intro anyway. Anyway, smash the like button where you're at. Smash the subscriber button, of course. Become a member. Let's let this channel grow. And as you know, I've minimized my screen because this is what you need to see, people. Before we delve into anything, I need to just read a little bit of this, elaborate on it, and then I'll tell you precisely what you need to know. I'll also talk about, a bit about the Pi tokenomics because that's something that I don't talk about often. So hey, lend me a bit of your time and let's do this. All right. So mainnet migration roadmap by priorities. This is something that you need to know. So in discussion, Pi mainnet migration, keep the following facts in mind. Sorry, in discussing Pi mainnet migration, keep the following facts in mind. One, the migration needs to occur for a network of tens of millions based on complex mining data over the last 6 years to ensure accuracy, security, and fairness for honest pioneers by excluding cheating. It is not just a simple airdrop to tens of thousands of wallet without much consideration of additional data like in many other crypto projects. Two, the network has already migrated over 12 million people, which on its own is already an achievement of scalability in the industry, especially given the natively built KYC and migration processes with no fiat cost for users. Three, when migration conditions for going to Open Mainnet was set to be 10 million, striking a balance between the network's need to transition to open network in a timely manner and inclusion of millions of pioneers in the mainnet, it was understood and expected that there would be people who need to migrate after Open Network launch. Here's a roadmap of mainnet migration work based on the network's priority. So one, of course, completing initial migration for pioneers in the queue. Now, this is very important. So this is the first priority. They need to complete the migrations for pioneers in the queue. Now, currently, the network is completing the first migrations for the queue of pioneers, including verified based mining rewards, verified security circle rewards, lockup rewards, utility apps usage rewards, and confirmed node rewards. The second migrations include referral bonuses. Now, this is where the importance have to come to the fray. Um, After the first migration in the current queue are completed, second migrations will become the focus. Second migrations will also include referral mining bonuses attributable to referral team members who passed KYC. And then the third one, obviously, is the ongoing periodic migrations, which is obviously the thing. So finally, Pi Network will shift into regular periodic migrations, example, monthly, quarterly, etc., to be determined, which will include all bonuses and rewards. So you know what the bonuses are, you know what the rewards are. I don't need to delve into that. Now, this is something you need to note. Note that differences in the UI meaning user interface, between the transferable balance and the actual migrated balance are as intended. So it is done intentionally. That's one thing you should know. There are no flukes. There is no discrepancy. It is just done intentionally. The UI, in other words, user interface, uses simplified calculation estimates in order to save computation time and resources. The balance that is actually migrated to a user's mainnet wallet depends on extensive, precise computations that could take a much longer time per user, going through all their past mining sessions and associated bonuses for the past few years. So the transferable balance displayed in the UI is a pessimistic estimate of the actual Pi amount included in the first migration. So you should know that it is not the actual amount. That's where we had the adjustments which occurred intermittently somewhere along the line. The actual first migration for everyone already contains their verified base mining rewards, security circle rewards, lockup rewards, utility app usage rewards, and confirmed node rewards for some, basically only excluding the referral mining bonuses, which is the unverified balances that we have. So please understand that whatever you've seen in the transfer balance or the ones that have been migrated, particularly in the first migration, included all those rewards, excluding the referral mining bonuses, which will happen in the second migration. And that's what I'm going to tell you the date of very soon. But right now, we're going to actually talk about the Pi tokenomics. And I'll just talk about it briefly, and then I'll give you the date. So, in light of the discussion about migration, it is important to remind pioneers of and educate the general public about the Pi tokenomics and mining mechanisms, which were defined in longer form in the white paper in 2021 on Pi's supply and allocations. So the maximum supply of Pi, obviously, we all know is 100 billion tokens. The maximum supply is comprised of the following: 65 billion tokens, or 65%. And then, of course, yeah, so obviously 65% are allocated for all community mining rewards. 10 billion, which is 10%, are allocated for foundation reserves. 5 billion, which is 5%, are allocated for liquidity purposes. And 20 billion, which is 20%, are allocated for the core team. Each allocation mentioned above tracks the community's migration mining reward issuance pace, so the proportions of each allocation in the total supply remains the same at any given time. Now, this means that whatever proportion you're seeing, say, for instance, we have 10 billion Pi, let's say, which has been mined or migrated. Out of those 10 billion, we already know 10%, which will be 1 billion, will go to the foundation reserves. 500 million will go to the liquidity purposes, and then 2 billion will be for the Pi core team, and of course 6.5 billion will be allocated for all community mining rewards. So that's how the distribution would be. This is something that you also need to know. So the effective total supply of Pi, the total supply of Pi at the current time. That's what. So I talked about the 10 billion. So proportions, the allocation is the same as the maximum supply. You understand? Same. Since every allocation tracks the migration mining rewards of the community, the effective total supply can be calculated by dividing the current migration mining rewards of Pi on the mainnet by blockchain by 65%, which we all know. So what they're trying to say is if we have 10 billion which obviously is the effective total supply, which is what we have currently. Hypothetically, then 6.5 billion is what will be allocated to us. Do you get what I'm saying? The other allocations within the effective total supply can be calculated based on the same proportions as the maximum supply. So I've given you all of those. So obviously, this is something that I thought, you know what, you guys should know. Now, let me explain something before I get into the the date and so on. So the one thing you need to know particularly is that when we are talking about the date, it's going to be dependent on the first migration, right? Now, the first migrations have to happen before the second migration. So they're not happening concurrently. Do you understand? So the whole system is such that once the first migration is done, the second migration kicks in. Do you know what I mean? So, and of course, there will be other random ongoing migrations which will happen monthly, quarterly, and so on and so forth. We don't know how they're going to do it, but they will do it. But the one thing I know is the day. So when that is going to happen will be after the first migration. Now, the first migration, I've been told, that will finish in Q4 of this year. Q4 of this year, not Q2, which is what we're in as of when I'm doing this video, not quick Q3, which is between 1st July and the 30th of September. It will be finished in Q4. So what they're expecting is what's the name? The second migration will begin from the 1st of October 2025. That's when second migration is expected to begin. It can't start any moment, obviously, because the first migration is ongoing. So that's what they're going to vigorously and vehemently undertake. And once that happens, the second migration will follow from Q4. Take care of yourselves, people. Name is Ray. Channel is Race United. Word is peace. And I hope you love this video. Put your comment, your whatever in the comment section. All right. Take care of yourselves. Race United.